Lord of the Rings Trilogy 5-minute recap. The sheer scope of Peter Jackson's adaptations of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings trilogy is mind-boggling. The story arises from humble beginnings in Hobbiton to epic events in Moria, Rohan, Gondor, Mordor, and other fantastic locations. In this video, we briefly take a look at the Lord of the Rings trilogy. At the end of the Second Age, men and elves join together into the Last Alliance in order to resist the growing power of Sauron. They defeat him in open battle, and after a long siege, the Dark Lord is temporarily destroyed when Isildur cuts the One Ring off his hand. Not long after the Third Age begins, Isildur is killed in an ambush near the Gladden Fields. He attempts to flee to safety by swimming across the great river Anduin, but is shot by archers, losing the One Ring, which sinks to the bottom of the river. Roughly 1 millennium later, the Istari wizards begin to arrive in Middle-earth with the express purpose of helping in the fight against the resurgent Sauron. Another millennium and a half pass, at which point the hobbit-like creature Smeagol gains the One Ring by killing and taking it from his friends Deagle, who found it at the bottom of the Anduin, where it has been lost thousands of years earlier. Later, on the other side of Middle-earth, small and vicious and powerful dragon infiltrates the dwarf kingdom of the Lonely Mountain, driving the dwarves into exile. The dwarves seek help from the elves, but they refuse. Thorin Oakenshield, the leader of the dwarves, employs the help of the wizard Gandalf, who leads them to the hobbit Bilbo Baggins, believing Bilbo can help him sneak into the Lonely Mountain without being noticed by Smaug. Upon the journey, Bilbo discovers Smeagol and Gollum and Sauron's Ring of Power. Bilbo spills the ring and continues his journey as Gollum vows to find the ring again in an obsessive rage. Bilbo makes it to the Lonely Mountain and hopes the dwarves and the nearby village of Laketown kill Smaug. However, Smaug's defeat kind of leaves the races of the dwarves, elves, and men in dispute as to who gets to keep the treasures of the Lonely Mountain. So, a war is fought that eventually includes goblins and orcs and have dubbed the Battle of the Five Armies. The men, elves, and dwarves band together to fight against the goblins and warts and eventually reconcile their differences, even though Thorin died in the battle. Bilbo only accepts a small portions of the treasure as a reward for his journey, and he returns to his home in the Shire. Years pass. Sauron becomes aware that the ring has been found yet again. He raises orc armies in preparations for a new takeover of all Middle-earth. The forces of evil capture and interrogate Smeagol. He eventually tells them a hobbit is in possession of the ring. In the Shire, Bilbo reluctantly gives the ring to Frodo Baggins, his nephew. This ignites the treacherous journey from the Shire to Mount Doom, the only place where the ring can be destroyed. Frodo travels with fellow hobbits Sam, Merry, and Pippin, as well as Gandalf, Aragorn, the true king of Mordor, Gimli, and Legolas. Gandalf dies. The pair are separated, with Sam and Frodo traveling on their own while their friends help recruit reinforcement from men and the elves, but not the dwarves because they are all basically dead. They even make some friends along the way, like the odd three people, the dead men Oathbreakers, and Gandalf, who kind of just comes back to life. Smeagol joins Frodo and Sam. Smeagol attempts to sabotage their relationship in an effort to steal the ring. Despite his attempts, however, Frodo and Sam make it to Mount Doom. Aragorn and his small army makes the last stand at the gates of Mordor. Frodo struggles with Gollum before the ring is tossed into the molten lava of the mountain's core. The ring was finally destroyed, and Aragorn's army defeats Sauron once and for all, and peace is restored to Middle-earth. Aragorn pick the thrones at Gondor, and Frodo returns home to the Shire. Sam's get married to sweetheart Rosie Cotton, and the two settle down together. They live happily ever after. Frodo, on the other hand, realizes that the wounds he received from his adventures have permanently scarred him, and he decides to leave Middle-earth. He travels with Sam, Pippin, and Merry to the coast, where the ring-bearer boards a ship along with Elrond, Galadriel, Celeborn, Bilbo, and Gandalf, and they sail into the west towards the Undying Lands. Meanwhile, the three remaining hobbits return home. Sam, arriving back on the steps of Back End, brings the story to a close with a suitably simple declaration, "Well, I'm back." Well, that's all for this video, but this is a brief summary of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.